more valuable across my whole life was Reid has a very specific view of how to make decisions. They can be personal decisions. They can be decisions for your kids, like where should your kid go to college? They can be professional decisions, like should we raise money or not? Should we work with this partner or that partner? And most people create a pros and cons list. It's kind of like an accounting thing. You probably, almost everybody's room has probably done this at some point. Here's the pros of working with Samir, here's the pros and negatives, and here's the pros of working with Keith, or something like that. And Reid is like adamant that that is the worst possible way to make a decision. And so he trained me that you should never do that. And so since this conversation, probably in 2002, I never do that. You will never find a notebook where I write down pros and cons of any decision. The counter model is, and I'll explain the flaw of that conventional model, is the counter model is you rank strictly your priorities in life. You rank strictly your priorities in your company. Then you try to make a decision between two choices solely on the first priority. And if there's a tie and you can't, then do you go to your second or third. And the reason why Reid's sort of model is so brilliant is when you create pros and cons, you're creating effectively and visually a false equivalence. Like, you have a pro here and a con there, and you have 3 in this column and 2 in that. And your brain is artificially looking at these as equivalent, where there's like a kind of a power law. Like maybe the first one's really, really important and the second one's not that important. But when you see it arrayed that way, your brain makes the wrong decision often. So I've been using that since 2002 every single day.